not forget, I always have my beautiful mother who loves to sit in with me here at the She Shack. And together, I am surrounded by two powerhouse ladies, like absolutely amazing people that's full of wisdom and full of knowledge and full of guidance. And tonight, they're going to share some of that with us. Also, before the live is over, I know you guys have already seen that I've been showing this beautiful basket that has been put together. We're going to spin the wheel at 7:40 and announce the winner on live. And don't worry, if you're one of the winners that is out of town, I'm going to mail it to you. So if you're local, I will be reaching out to you in Messenger, getting your address and information, and it will be delivered to you before Mother's Day. Again, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. So we just gonna jump right into it and start with Dr. Jones.
Well, what you want me to say?
How are you?
I'm doing right good for an old lady.
For an old lady.
For an old lady, I'm doing pretty good.
I just want to know, what was the inspiration for you writing the I'm doing all right for an old lady?
Well, I wrote a few notes before I came so that I wouldn't forget what I'm supposed to say. But I don't know if anybody remembers. Probably not. They're not that old. The Weekly Reader.
I remember the Weekly Reader.
You do?
Yeah.
All right. I thought you were young like me.
No, I mean, yeah, I am young. You know, my kids told me I had to move up my age because I stayed 35 for a long time.
Yeah, it was like a little weird that I'm older than my mother.
So they told me I had to move my age up a little bit. I didn't move it much now. But, yeah.
How old are we this week?
Did you just say this week?
Yeah, this week. I just wanted to know, like, how old are we this week?
Why are you asking me how
Yeah,
old
they
I
say you're
am?
not supposed to ask a lady that question.
Well, I mean, I never know. Then that lets me know how old I am, or how old I should say that I am.
Well,
Should I be marking myself down 20
Excuse me,
years?
ladies, do not
Tell
tell
their age.
We don't
Well, I'm
know.
gonna just need you to stop saying you're 35.
I mean, you know, they believe me. That's why I'm alive.
Yeah, you're not supposed to ask a lady her age, is what I understand. But I remember the Weekly Reader. You say you do. You don't remember? I don't know.
No, she's too young.
Yeah, I don't think they still produce it.
No, they don't.
I don't think so. Well, in the Weekly Reader, when I was in the first grade, which wasn't yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Right.
It was some time ago.
Mm-hmm.
In that Weekly Reader, I remembered, my sister said, no, Gerald, people don't always remember things like that in the first grade. That it said, stop it, it said, old people would be turned into soap, lampshades, because they wouldn't be found useful. Around 2090, around that time, they would be functional. And I said, oh my goodness gracious. And they said, during Thanksgiving, we would eat turkey. We had seaweed and kelp. I remember that from my Weekly Reader. And I said, oh my goodness, as I lived and lived and lived, I understood how we were coming to that time when people would no longer find old people useful in society. So that's what the Weekly Reader said. But you know, my grandmother was my best friend. And that's a part of what I have in the book. We would sit around like two old women. I've been old all my life. And talk, and my family would say, what are those two old women have to talk so much about? And we enjoyed each other's company. And I learned to appreciate myself as an old person. And I enjoy being old.
Really?
Oh my goodness, yes.
I heard a lot of people say growing old sucks. Like, growing old is like, it's for the birds. And you disagree with growing old is not?
No. I was talking to someone today, wherever I was, and my response was when they asked me, how you doing for an old lady? How you doing today? And I said, doing pretty well for an old lady. But I want you to know that every time I say that, it's a prayer. Because I say, you woke me up this morning? That's a question. You woke me up this morning? So when I say I'm doing pretty good for an old lady, that's a prayer.
Oh, really?
That's a prayer of thanksgiving to my God, my Savior, who woke me up this morning. He didn't have to. He could have left me right there slumbering.
Right,
on
right,
what they
right.
call it, the board.
I never thought about it that way.
It's my prayer. It's my prayer.
Well, you know what, Dr. Jones, he has truly answered your prayer.
Praise God, because I am old. For real, real. True.
Well, I don't know how old you are, but I can say you look well.
All right.
So, ladies' secret, that's what I say. Since I've been in Delaware, and I've been in the company of Dr. Jones, and we done went a lot of different places. And I done met ladies, not women, they ladies, that's in their
Would you
hundreds.
clarify
They were in their,
between ladies and
because they were dainty. They were very charismatic, okay, friendly and lovable, and full of information and life. And I'm not talking about anybody that's in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s, okay? The ladies that I am speaking of, they were 100, 101, 103. They were still had on their heels and their suits and they beautiful dresses and makeup and earrings and everything, and they were still driving,
that's beautiful.
fully functional,
That's beautiful.
and dancing with their heels on.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely wonderful.
And yes, just last Saturday, I know a lot of people may have seen that, but last Saturday, I attended the 104th birthday for Suzanne Brown, young Brown. And she is beautiful. She drives herself to church.
Wow, at 104.
104.
Wow.
So I think it's something in the water in
I think
Delaware,
so.
and I'm glad I'm here. Because, I mean, my grandmother on my father's side lived to be 105. She was a cute little lady, never took anything greater than an aspirin, lived on her own and fully functional.
That's beautiful.
So, and that was Aunt Valina's mother.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, but that was my grandmother, my great grandmother, and yeah, she lived to be 105. And right after her 105th birthday, she just she said she wanted to sit down and take a nap. And the doctors and all said, well, physically speaking, wasn't anything wrong with her. It was just her heart just got tired. So I was like, okay, well, longevity does run in my family. So whatever age I am, that's how I'm the age that I feel that I am. Okay. My physical age doesn't have anything to do with how I feel. All right. Just like I went to the doctor today and he gave me a very good report. He said, you know, you look fantastic. You know, what are you doing? And like I told him, I'm making some lifestyle changes. I'm not saying that I'm dieting because that's something that I don't stick to. Okay. So I told him I was making some lifestyle changes, and these lifestyle changes is giving me the energy that I need to get through my day. Whereas, you know, at one point in time, all I did was lay in the bed because I used to hurt all the time. So I don't do that anymore. I made a promise to myself. I'm going to get up every morning and make my bed up. Okay? Because my grandmother used to tell me, how you know you never got out of your bed if you don't make it up? Okay? So now I understand what she was saying to me. You know, you need to get up out of that bed, make that bed up, get on with your day. even if you don't feel like it, do something. If it's no more than sweep the floor, you know. So, and that's exactly what I told my doctor, my cardiologist today. He kind of looked at me. He said, you know, that's a good theory to have. And I said, yeah, well, it's working for me, you know, because I feel a lot better. You know, I feel, I'm not going to say 100% of how I used to feel, but I'm so close to it, I can knock the door down and say, okay, y'all just let me on in because this is what it is.
That's amazing. That really is wonderful. I think that it's really important for young ladies coming into becoming older adults, for us to be able to have guidance. We lack ladies. That we don't see as many examples of dainty or powerful or visionary ladies. And that's one thing that just kind of like I look up to people like you, Sister Vivian, Reverend Welch, ladies that are just going against society's grain and everything that society say a woman shouldn't be. You guys are doing that. Like, y'all are knocking the doors down. Like, I'm like, Dr. Jones? Like, I have a Dr. Jones, I have a, like, Dr. Chandler, I have doctors that's just right in my immediate circle that offers so much wisdom, so much knowledge, so much support. When I read your book, I was blown away. When I say I was blown away, I think I even remember telling you, like, we need to do something with this book. This book needs to be like how, I don't know if you're familiar with the book Who Moved My Cheese, that they use in like Fortune 500 companies to have training them for sensitivity and, you know, being able to identify who's on your team. Your book did that for me. Being a nurse myself, working in the healthcare field, a lot of times I think that we get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of just nursing, of just, you know, making sure that your health is okay, but not really checking in with that really important health, which is the mental health, that social, having that social interaction with other people. And when I read your book, I was like, wow.
I laughed when I was reading the book. It gives you, you know, you're reading the book, you can relate to it, what's going on in the book, but it's funny.
It's absolute a lot of humor.
To share one of the stories is in the book. I tell the story about me explaining to my family that when I get older, I had at that time a souped up Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. And it was beautiful. It was red and it was fancy. It didn't look like it belonged to an old person. So I told them when I go to the nursing home, I'm taking my car with me. So I said, so I could drive myself. If I decide that I want to leave the nursing home, I can drive myself around town and my friends. I said, so I'm going to drive myself there. And my granddaughter said, Grandma, I'm telling you, I've been thinking about that. You driving yourself to a nursing home. So don't do that. Give me your keys and let me drive you there.
That's pretty good.
I'll tell you, yeah. And other things like that have confronted me as a person. But I've said, I'm doing right good for an old lady most of my life.
Really?
Most of my life. I might have been 35 when I started saying that. Because all my friends who know me said, you still saying that? I said, well, I ought to be older now, don't you think? But I've said it because I have always felt a kinship to older people.
Okay.
And I've always felt the discrimination against older people. Because like there's racism, ageism, sexism, elitism, classism, all those isms that are talked about in the book.
Right.
And if you don't like me as an old person, then you don't like most people.
It's true.
So any ism that you carry is something that you carry. So I've always had that love for older people, because all the people in my life, all my family, they've always been there for me. They've always uplifted me, encouraged me, supported me. So how can you not love somebody who shows you all of that? That's your
Right.
neighbors, your friends, and everybody. And I wrote this down because it said, the word tells us that wisdom is a gift of the Spirit, and it's in the Bible. It does not claim a social status or an age or an ethnicity for this gift. It doesn't say you have to be old, doesn't say you have to be young, doesn't say you have to be smart. But the gifts of the Spirit, not the fruit, but the gifts that come from the Spirit
Right.
is wisdom, knowledge. They are wisdom, knowledge, faith, healing, miracles, and prophecy, and discerning of spirits, speaking in tongues, and interpretation in tongues. And you can find that in Romans 12:3-8. But the purpose of it is to honor or glorify God. And here's what I like. It's controlled by love.
Love is such a powerful word. It encompasses so much. I think sometimes people use the word quite loosely. Or I love that car, or I love those shoes, or I love that bag, or But when you really think about what love is love is a word of action. It's not a passive thing. It's a thing that it's in the way you treat a person, the way you embrace someone. Is what illuminates off you that people can say when they look at you, that's love. Like people can say, oh, I would love to do that, but that's not the word of action. But when you actually go out helping less fortunate people, feeding the hungry people, or just volunteering your time to, like, I'll give you a ride, or I'll come by and visit you, just to, like, let me help you cross the street. Those words that's love. That's my idea of what love is. When I met you, I'll never forget our encounter. Like, never, ever, ever forget our encounter, the coming to sit next to me, very, very dainty, brushing me on my shoulder, and just, I felt that you felt that I was in a place that was strange, and that I wasn't as comfortable maybe as I should have been, because we were at church. And I had a lot of things going on in my life at that time, and looking for church home, and not really sure about religion. I was just in a really strange place in my life that I was not really familiar with. And when you came and you sat next to me and you brushed up next to me, you said, you smell good. And I'm like, well, that's good. And it was just like the smile, the touch, all right, let me take your number down. Member. Then I went from member to daughter. Then I was daughter member, and it was just always, even when I wasn't ready, even when I still was like struggling with my own abuses in church. And a lot of times people don't like to talk about how people get hurt in church, like how it could actually turn you away from not wanting to be there because you get your feelings hurt, you get rejected, you get talked about, you get judged, you get ridiculed. But when I walked in, you greeted me with love. And I would never forget that. I would never forget that.
Well, yeah, like, you can feel a kindred spirit. Somebody who is compassionate and kind.
Right.
So that's how I feel. I tell Dr. Jones all the time, Dr. Jones, I just love her. I do anything for her because I love her kindred spirit. You know, she's never showed anything else towards me but kindness.
Nurturing.
And I was just telling Sister Vivian, because Sister Vivian spent Sunday with me, okay? And I was just I was just shocked that she would love to spend that much time just her and I. We just sit there and
Here. They were here.
and we just enjoy each other's conversation and just being in each other's company. And it was a joyful moment for me. And maybe, you know, because we talked about a little bit of everything, but I can truly say that, you know, it was that kindness and genuine person. You know, like I see you today is the same way I see you tomorrow. If we don't talk to one another in 2 or 3 weeks, when I come back, it's that same kindred spirit. And like I was telling Sister Vivian, I said, Sister Vivian, do you miss Bible study? She said, you know one thing? I do. I was like, I'll be glad when they start back Bible study. And she said, me too. I think for me, it was because not only was we talking about God's word, but we were sharing, you know, that love amongst one another, you know, and the meal was good too, let me just say that.
I was telling somebody about Bible study the other day, because, you know, I'm trying to be a vegan.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to learn how to be that kind of person. And I said, but I fixed vegan cheesecake. And then I fixed other vegan meals and offered it to the Bible study group, and they said, no, thank you.
Oh,
No, they want the vegan cheesecake. You know they don't want that.
Oh, really?
I want to offer.
I asked you, and no, but that's okay.
I don't remember.
But the Bible study, the fellowship, that is a means of grace.
Yes, it is.
When you get together with other people, and you get together because God is love, and when you fellowship one with the other and share the goodness and the love of God and His Word, that's one of the ways that you get to love one another. Because the fellowship comes through the love of God and what you share and as you learn. We were taught as young people how to be. And we were shown as young people how to be. There were ladies around that taught us how to. One was my aunt, whom I cared for, Aunt Pauline, until she passed.
I was just getting ready to ask you to elaborate on that. It's like just an example of your nurturing spirit that you cared for your aging aunt.
Yes.
Gracefully.
Yes.
And how long did you do that for?
Oh, maybe 10 years or more. She was 94 when she died, and she was a lady. She taught us, and most of the ladies would teach us, you know, manners and etiquette, and how to sit, how to eat, what fork to use, and how to be a lady. We learned that in New Homemakers of America. All of our teachers they were those kinds of people. I still write to and have contact with some of my teachers. My French teacher, I sent her a Mother's Day card. She sent me a Easter card. Those ladies, when in our French class, we had a tea. And she taught us, I think I said this before, the Lord's Prayer in French.
Really?
I mean, the people had God in their hearts and in their love, and you give to other people what you have. And my Aunt Pauline, she taught etiquette to the boys and everybody in her home economics class, so you would know those things that you would need to do. How do you know how to have a garden if you don't have somebody to show you how to grow it?
That's true.
So in order to be something, you have to have someone who helps you get there.
Right. Absolutely.
And yeah, because one of the things that Miss Vivian and I was talking about, because she was showing me pictures where her granddaughter went to a debutante ball. Okay. Beautiful picture of her granddaughter in her debutante. I said, you know, my daughter went to a debutante ball and I sent her to etiquette school. I said, when I tell people that I sent my daughter to etiquette school and she was a debutante and, you know, she was presented, they kind of look at me a little strange. You know, she went to etiquette school. She was in the debutante ball. And you know, I have even heard, who does that? I said, well, I did it.
Well, contrary to popular belief, I did go to etiquette school. And today, I'm very grateful. Now, I'm just going to say, when I actually had to go to etiquette school, it was not my favorite thing to do. I was the only kid in the neighborhood that was attending. I didn't know why I was the chosen, why I had to be the chosen one. Why was I the chosen one to be in this debutante ball? Why I'm the one that has to go to this etiquette school. But today, I am so grateful for that because it actually, for a while, it didn't seem like it was useful. Like I didn't find that I had found any usefulness from it. But as I grew older and start dating and going out to like nice restaurants and meeting dignitaries and, you know, people and that kind of stuff, I was like, oh, that's what this is about. That's what this is for.
And I think that's a part of what we're missing today. But like Socrates said, you know, that was Socrates way back. So I don't know what we're going to do with these young people. He said that then. So it means that as we grow as people, there's always going to be something that will confront us. But we have to understand that and understand each other. You know, the basic theme, even though it says, I'm doing all right for an old lady, set one more story. We had a summer camp, 7 tutoring sites throughout this city of Dover. And we would take children to basketball games, restaurants, families would go. We would do all of those things. That was a part of what's my doctoral thesis, community partnership program. But I found that you must work together from the cradle to the grave. Everybody has to work together.
Right.
And that's how that program was so successful. Everybody worked together. The children, the old people, the young people, the community, the sororities, the fraternities, the colleges, everybody worked together. Because what's it say? It takes a village
To raise a
to
child.
raise a child. And it is true.
If you had to give one words of wisdom or advice to young ladies like myself, that's kind of like still trying to break through and walking and understanding this journey of life, because I know for myself, this journey, God is taking me on a roller coaster. I mean, like a complete roller coaster, but I am enjoying the time that I'm actually spending with God through prayer. And if you had to give us anything that would be like a beacon of light or a word of encouragement, something for us to always maybe kind of be able to keep tucked back in our memory bank that can pull us through sometimes. We have a lot of people in this day and age coming out of a pandemic, just dealing with financial struggles. Some does a lot of single parent homes. People are like going without things, and sometimes it gets very difficult to just try to pull up your bootstraps and tighten them on a little bit tighter and keep going. What would you give to us?
I think I plugged up here Psalm 139. It's so hard for folks to understand who they are. You've got to like who you are. I'm gonna tell my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, if you can't spend time with yourself, then you aren't going to be able to get along with anybody else.
That is so
You
true.
have to like yourself and have to learn how to be in solitude with yourself, to be alone with yourself, to be in meditation with yourself, to be in quietness with yourself. You have to learn to like yourself, the person that you are, and grow to learn to like that person. Psalm 139 says, "For thou hast possessed my reign, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right now." To know that who in the world would ever make somebody with 5 fingers, 2 eyes, nose, blood? We didn't do these things ourselves. Somebody bigger than you and I made this person. The brain, if we had a computer that would be able to compute what this brain God gave us, a computer would have to be the size of Dallas, Texas. Look how great God made us. The fibers of our cells, there's a cross that holds those membranes together.
Right.
God made it all, and unless we come to understand that, we're always going to be at odds with ourselves. You know, when mental health people will send folk to church
Right.
to help with their healing. Even when even when we were involved at the hospital as chaplains for my degree, MDiv degree, we would be in the hospital, and every Friday we would have lunch with the doctors as part of the chaplain. Everybody knows that there's somebody bigger than we. The doctors don't heal us themselves.
That's true.
And we lay hands on people, and our hands don't heal people.
Right.
When we understand how greatly we're made, but who greatly made us, then we can better understand ourselves and who we are. I love the Word of God, and I don't want to push God on a whole lot of other people, but that's what I know. I wrote, let me see, it was something I wrote. Oh, what I was saying is, the author is, no man is an island.
That's true.
No man stands alone. She said, I wrote it down. Each
Y'all,
man's
she have
joy brings joy to me. Each man's grief is my own. We need one another. So I will defend each man as my brother, and each man as my friend.
You know what
Wow.
I noticed in your hand is the little book that book that she wrote, she dedicated to her daughter. I've read that. It's a poem.
Oh, yeah. This is the first poem I wrote. Let me see if I find it. This is a poem I wrote in the 6th grade. They tell me a cat has many lives, adding 6 plus 3, but such luck for a silly cat. Why couldn't that be me? In this short life with so many things to do, I want to live on and on for several lives or 2. And with those several years, I guess I could use one more. Because in life's course, you make mistakes, need time to either score. Suppose this is why a cat has 9 and I have but 1. Ere 9 would never be enough. I'd need more when they were done.
So you have always written?
I've always been interested in writing.
Wow.
And as I said, in the 6th grade, I wrote that poem, and I wrote this one in the 6th grade. And I had changed it when it was published to a little bit. I shouldn't have done that. I wonder how, and I said slave. I wonder how the slave felt under the thrash of the swishing belt. To stay humble to the whipping hand, I wonder. I wonder how he slept at night in fear of a perilous fight. I wonder how he ever prayed through all the fights and the midnight raids. I wonder took place that night on that lonesome road in anxious flight, how he ran in search of a place to perch. I wonder if he thought he'd see a time when he'd be half free. I wonder if he thought of me. Isn't it silly to wonder?
It's so beautiful.
Because I love to write. I hope God will increase my wisdom and my knowledge. Because here's the thing. If we think we're all we're ever going to be, then we're never going to be. But I hope God will ever increase my wisdom and my knowledge and my growth. And that
But can you
each
say
day-
that one more time? If we're never, say that one more time. We're going to post this in our group because I think I'm going to go back and read this and put this into my little daily notes and manifesting things. Give that to me
If
one
we
more time.
think we're who we're going to be, then we're never going to be. If we think we're already who we are, every day of our lives, we should grow. Every day of our lives, we should learn something. If we live to be 999 years old, that's the title of the book. I'm doing all right for an old lady, the youngest member of the Methuselah Club. And you know, Methuselah was 989. If we think we know all there is to know in life, then we've already lost. Yeah, no matter how long we live, there's something that we need and have to learn. We'll never learn all there is to know, especially about God. We'll never learn that. We'll never learn and know all there is. Do you think you don't? Do I think I? No. I don't know everything there is to know. I don't know that.
Yeah, because my theory is, I always say this, it's important that I learn at least one thing every single day, whether it's a word or a situation or whatever the case may be. Like I use different phrases particularly when I'm texting Yvette, fantastic and amazing, you know. I say, well, you know, that's our word for today, fantastic and amazing. Or, you know, wonderfully blessed or humble. Or I use positivity. To me, 2022 is a year of positivity, okay? I don't care what the situation is. I don't care how you look at it. For me, I'm going to always see, can I find something positive in it regardless of what it is. Whether, you know, if you have to have a positive outlook, you know.
When you change the lens, you change the way you see it. And that is really powerful. I've seen it a few places. And I felt like that was God giving me confirmation. When you alter, not alter, because alteration means you just moved it a little bit. But when you change it, when you change that lens, that you're looking through a new lens.
Yeah.
So the situation can't look the same as it would look through the old lens.
No, it doesn't.
So it's like that old cliche saying you hear a lot of times, don't look at the glass half full, look at the glasses half, don't look at the glasses half empty, look at the glasses half full.
Right.
And that didn't make sense to me for a long time. I couldn't apply it to anything. Like I wasn't able to apply, why are you telling me to look at this glass half full instead of half empty? It didn't come until like with wisdom, with time, when you start experiencing things in life, then you start to understand what that meant. It's like, don't look at the situation and think about all the things you don't have.
Right.
Look at the situation and all the things you do have. Like, you may not have everything that you want, but at least you can see.
Right.
You know, you can smell, you can see the birds flying, you can, you know, it's just like having a greater appreciation for the things that you do have. Your glass is always half full.
That's true, and in addition to that, one of the things that I changed this year, my concept of what failure is. You know, a lot of times when a person fails at something, they give up. Me personally, I don't look at failure like that. I look at failure as, okay, this is an opportunity for me to try it differently. So it's not that I failed, it's that I need to try another method to get where I'm trying to go. So that's my methodology for myself. And I share that with people all the time. Don't never look at something that you didn't accomplish as a failure. No, you didn't fail at it. You just have to look at it in a different manner to try it a different way. You know, maybe that didn't work, but maybe something over here would work, you know. So
Excuse me.
I just kind of look at things a little differently these days.
We're definitely on live.
I know. You have to announce the winner.
So this is a reminder. This is our other honorary co-host, Kashaya Foy, who is reminding me that the time is now 7:44. She's going to spin the wheel and let me know who's the winner of this amazing Mother's Day basket.
You FaceTime her?
Wait, she could come on here live.
Oh, she could come
I'm gonna
live.
bring her on camera. Hold on.
He's going to put you on the camera, honey.
I think.
Okay, we get ready to announce this winner, but while we're waiting to do that, I wanted to give the last thoughts of the show tonight to Dr. Jones, who I am absolutely honored to have with me. Absolutely honored to have
Dr.
with
Jones,
me.
tell us more about the books that you have written so far.
Well, you know, when I was trying to find some things, I didn't know how long it was going to take. And I've written more than 5. But From My Heart to Yours was the first one. And then From Our Hearts, that's Brittany, Mercedes, and myself.
Okay,
Then Dear Brittany, when Brittany passed with leukemia.
okay,
And then I'm doing All Right for an Old Lady.
okay.
And now Beside the Golden Door.
Tell me a little bit beside the golden door.
Oh, we don't have
You got enough time. Just give us a brief interlude about beside the golden door.
Okay. Well, that was the first book I wrote that I didn't get written until last year.
Okay.
Okay,
I started that book 50 years ago.
really?
We are going to talk more about Beside the Golden Door. You'll be able to find all this information on Conversations from the She Shack group. You can also follow us on YouTube at Conversations from the She Shack with A Queen. We are also on Instagram. You can follow us along with the Get Snatch Connoisseur. So thank you so much for
You
tuning
got one more
in.
over there.
Yeah, that was my first book.
Subscribe.
And then we have From My Heart to Yours. This spectacular individual that's sitting next to me is my spiritual mother. And I want to thank you so much for encouraging me and for loving me and for being there for me and absolutely for sitting there with me tonight. You did not have to do this. The words of wisdom that you share with us, the empowerment that you give, the example that you just display is remarkable. And because of you, so much of me right now has changed.
Praise God. Awesome.
It's all good. All right, guys.
Oh,
So
somebody texted and said they know about the weekly weeder.
so we getting ready to announce this winner.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
He said give him a second.
So
He said give him a second.
okay, we gonna give him a second. So while we waiting on him, we just gonna keep talking.
I just want to say that one of the things that comes up out of I'm doing All Right for an Old Lady is that for us to understand that as old people and young people, we have to work together.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about some of the things that you're involved in, because you are really active in the community, and we didn't get a chance to really talk about that. But you have been on helping people getting registered for
To vote.
for immunizations. You what's that, political, like she's out, she promotes, like you help with Joe Biden to try to get him in office, and she's just involved. Transformations, let's not forget that Transformation AME Zion Church right here in Dover with the Honorable Pastor Chandler, who we absolutely as a unit, we adore, who's gonna grace our presence here in the She Shack and give us some words to live by in our marriage boot camp that's coming up. So, again,
Yeah, because actually, Transformation actually started in the basement of Dr. Jones' house.
I'm telling you, this lady is amazing.
She's part of the NAACP as well. She's part of the COVID movement that to encourage our community, black, brown, yellow, orange, I don't care what color your skin tone is, to get COVID tested and get your booster. We are out here. She's part of the COVID Relief Food Fund, where we can try to help feed those that's a little less fortunate than ourselves. I mean, she's a host of wisdom and encouragement. And,
Absolutely.
she works constantly. This is the most busiest lady I've ever met. She's always trying to better. She's always working towards better, and I think, you know, that's amazing. It's encouraging. When you see someone else working towards better, you work towards better as well.
And I hope that we don't try to change things or think that we have to change something. Work to make things better, work to make change, but don't act as though it won't happen unless we do it.
Absolutely.
All right. So this is my favorite part. I love giving away gifts. I'm a gift giver. I love giving away gifts. It was so much fun putting this basket together. So let me just tell y'all a little bit that's what's in there, and then we're gonna announce the winner. So we have two beautiful wine flutes. We have a bottle of my favorite wine. Excuse me. It's called Sweet Bitch. That's my favorite wine. I have a book in here, Tequila's Way. Everybody knows that I love Tamika Simard, and I love her book and what it stands for. I also have a guided journal here from Funny Acting Black Girls. It's one of my very dear friends that have a platform. Please check it out. Then we have candles from Bath and Body Works. We have a candle holder, and we have a host of gift cards, Olive Garden, Macy's, Wawa, Victoria's Secrets. And we are going to give this basket away. So, Kashaya, let me know who's the winner. What'd she say?
She ain't on there. She on you.
Let me find out who's the winner. Who's the winner?
Travis said him.
All right, I got her on the call. Who's the winner?
He did. He said me. Yes, it did.
Hey, who's the winner? Here we go, guys. I just stopped.
Number 32.
Now, who was 32, Kashaya?
Brittany Myers.
Brittany Myers. Brittany Myers, you are the winner of the Conversations from the She Shack Mother's Day basket. Hit me up. You got 20 minutes to respond. 20 minutes to respond. Brittany Myers, you are the winner of The Mother's Day giveaway basket, you have 20 minutes to respond. All right. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. We still have we have time left? Oh, we got some time left. All right, well, Brittany, you got 20 minutes, 10 minutes while on, 10 minutes while we're off. And if you don't respond, guess what? I'm going to pick somebody else to get this basket to. I just might keep it for myself.
No, we're not gonna keep it for ourselves. It's a beautiful basket.
It's
so
a beautiful basket.
Brittany, whoever you are, wherever you are, please
Brittany
respond.
Myers and Dr. Jones, I got something for you.
Really? Oh, Travis said he was robbed.
I have something for you, Dr. Jones. It's not a lot, but it means a lot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Bozo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Wise Al.
Yes, ma'am.
That's beautiful. Oh, my goodness, that is so pretty. Isn't that beautiful?
I chose a wise owl. Let me tell you why. One of the things that you pour into not just me, but into everyone that you meet, you give us love. And the kind of love that you give is unconditional. It's non-biased. It's not judgmental. It's not belittling. It doesn't call names. It doesn't point fingers. It's just so warm. It is so tender. And I respectfully get the honor of calling you mom. So it's just something I wanted to give to you. And besides, you're always wearing them little things, so I wanted you to wear one from me.
I don't want it to fall off so the other people can see it.
I don't know, but
Yeah, they see it.
Oh, they can see it. So I gave her a cute little wise owl. She is so full of wisdom, and I wanted to give her. I didn't want her to leave the She Shack without a gift.
Oh.
So this was from the She Shackers to you.
Thank you, Shisha.
Please come back anytime and bring us some more words. You don't just have to write a book to come sit down and talk to me. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. When we were taking, I was about to tell you the story, when we were taking the children around in the camps.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we would take them to a camp over in Maryland. It was way out in the woods. Way out in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
We had swimming pool and the canoeing, boating. It was a beautiful place and nice camp. So, you know, all the children, every child, including myself, is not perfect, right?
Right, absolutely.
So a couple of boys that we took with us, they decided they didn't want to be in the woods and they were going to go home. So the campers came and said, told all of us, the adult counselors, so those two boys said they're leaving. So they said they're going to go home. So I said, oh, okay. They can find their way out of here, they can go. So we all sat there. Not too long, the two boys came. You know, there's something wrong with that old woman.
Mm-hmm.
Said, any old woman to bring children way out here in the woods like that, there's something wrong with her. The wisdom of kids, you know.
Right.
You have to learn to appreciate one another.
Absolutely.
And love one another, no matter who we are,
Absolutely.
whatever we have, and know that whatever and whoever we are,
Right.
that's who we are.
That's true.
And maybe, and hope that with our love and our patience and our understanding, that maybe that will encourage some difference in who that person is.
Yeah, that's true. And I always said, well, this is me, I had to reintroduce myself to myself.
All right.
So once I reintroduced myself to myself, then I had my eyes open and I had a different perspective. like Dr. Jones said, you have to like who you are. You
That's
know?
so powerful to like you.
You have to.
Yes, that's powerful. And that's talking about like looking at everything, not just physical, but looking at every single thing about you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the secrets, the bones in the closet, and still like you.
I like my big feet.
Me too, honey. What you talking about? I look at me, say, well, you know, I'm still sexy. I don't care what nobody else say. You know, so in order, you know, when you reintroduce yourself to yourself, you know, that tells me you have to love yourself. And once you love yourself, you know, if you get a disappointment, it's okay. You know, so once you learn how to love yourself, then you can share that love with somebody else, okay? And when that person know that you are a genuine person, whether they see you today or tomorrow or whatever, that love's still gonna radiate outward, you know? So I think that's one of the more important changes that I made within myself, is that I had to come to terms who I am, okay? And once I came to terms with who I am as a person, and I know now that it's all right if I'm by myself, because I love me.
That doesn't mean that you're vain, because that's one of the other sides of the fruits of the Spirit. Doesn't mean that you're egotistical.
No.
It means that you are who you are.
Right.
This was my dissertation for my PhD. That's one of the things I wrote for my class.
Women who practice what they preach. Now I'm about to tell y'all right now, this is getting ready to go like, ooh, ooh, this is serious right here. Women who practice, are just the title alone. Women who practice what they preach.
You have to practice what you preach.
Oh my
You know,
goodness.
Because I remember when I was a teenager and I was still living in New Orleans, and I went to this church, right? And this preacher was up in the pulpit, and he turned around and said, don't do as I do, but do as I say do. But I was like, but you're the one that's supposed to be giving us the word. You know, so, but me personally, if I'm going to practice what I preach, I have to be an example of what I'm preaching, or what I'm living by. I can't tell you not to cross the street, and when I'm crossing the street myself.
Well, you know what? That's a conversation. We're going to have to get into that conversation. That's a conversation that we can actually talk about. Practicing what it's going to be a title. We're going to have to bring you back for this one.
All right.
So, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, go over to YouTube, Conversations from the She Shack with A Queen. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you so much. Listen, we trying to take this thing, trying out. We're taking Conversations from the She Shack global. We need your help to do that. All you have to do, it costs you nothing. 2 minutes. Go to YouTube. When we get off of this live, go right on over there. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Share it. If you like what you hear, maybe you don't like what you hear. Maybe it can be helpful to somebody else. Share. Thank you so much. I love you guys. As always, I'll see you next week.
Brittany,
Peace.
we looking,
Brittany,
we still waiting.
you, Brittany.